Coco Gauff chooses her 2026 kickoff, and US fans won't be disappointed. Coco Gauff is determined to build on her recent successes as she heads into the 2026 season. Gauff capped off a strong campaign by winning her first Roland Garros title in June and added another trophy at the WTA 1000 event in Wuhan, where she defeated Jessica Pegula. Overall, it was a productive season, though there are still areas of her game that need attention before she can truly establish herself as the dominant force on tour. Tim Henman has suggested some things for Gauff to focus on, and she is now working out her schedule for the Australian swing, which starts in January. Gauff recorded 17 double faults in a recent match against Pegula, making it clear where she needs to focus her efforts. She is already set on being in top form ahead of the Australian Open and has now revealed her first tournament appearance for 2026. The official United Cup website has confirmed that Gauff will join Taylor Fritz as his partner for the event, which traditionally opens the season. In 2026, it will run over 9 days starting from January 2nd. With Gauff and Fritz looking to maintain the strong record the United States has in the competition. Out of the 3 editions held so far, 2 titles have gone to Team USA, and Fritz has been a constant presence in all 3 tournaments. He was previously paired with Pegula before teaming up with Gauff this time around. Gauff has a small adjustment to make in 2026. The serve has always been an issue for Gauff, and even though it gets the most attention, it is something she should be able to fix with time. Despite the double fault issues, she still came away from the season with a Grand Slam title. If she manages to clean up that part of her game, there is no reason she cannot push for more success on the WTA Tour. Andy Roddick has already stood up for Gauff in the past, and it is fair to say some of the criticism thrown her way has been somewhat excessive. Her choice to play in the United Cup could be just what she needs ahead of the Australian Open. The event might give her a chance to work on that part of her game before stepping onto one of tennis' biggest stages. The dawn of the 2026 season arrived with a hum of anticipation, a restless stirring in the tennis world that felt almost electric. Rumors had floated for weeks, cryptic training clips, whispers from coaches, scattered hints dropped by insiders, but Coco Gauff had stayed silent, smiling in interviews while giving nothing away. Fans called it suspense, commentators called it strategy, Coco called it fun. And then, on a crisp January morning, she finally pulled back the curtain. The 2026 season, she revealed, would kick off at home, in the United States, in front of thousands of fans who had cheered for her since the beginning. Her choice stunned even some of her closest followers. Coco Gauff would begin her year at the newly elevated American Premier Classic, a US-based tournament revamped into a marquee event ahead of the Australian Open. If there was ever a way to send her fans into a frenzy, this was it. The announcement heard across America. Coco made the announcement not with a press conference, not with a solemn statement, but with a short, explosive video. It started with a zoom-in on her iconic, "Come on," fist pump, shot in slow motion of course, before the camera spun around to reveal a sunlit stadium humming with energy. A bold caption popped up, "See you soon, America. 2026 starts here." The clip lasted just 8 seconds. It took fans approximately 0.2 seconds to react. Social media erupted in all directions. Teens in Florida posted TikTok countdowns. A group of fans in Atlanta, her hometown supporters, began planning a road trip the very same day. "We're bringing drums, banners, cowbells, whatever is allowed," one fan tweeted. "Actually, even what isn't allowed. We'll negotiate." Even the tournament organizers seemed to share the shock and excitement. Within an hour, their website strained under ticket demand. Day passes evaporated first, then weekend passes, then VIP boxes. If someone had tried to buy a seat on the moon, they probably would have sold that too. Why this choice matters. Gauff had options. Plenty of them. She could have chosen a warm-up event in Australia, adjusting early to the southern summer. She could have headed to the Middle East for a quiet, focused tune-up. She could have picked one of the traditional WTA starting points that players have relied on for decades. But Coco had something else in mind. 2026 is about connecting, she said later in an exclusive interview. "I wanted to feel the energy of home before everything begins. There's nothing like playing in front of American fans. They give you this feeling that anything is possible." For Coco, it wasn't just about warming up her forehand or sharpening her footwork. It was about grounding herself, feeling rooted, stepping into the season surrounded by a familiar roar. And for the fans, it meant something even bigger. A chance to witness the spark at the very moment it ignites. The build-up to opening day. Training began in Boca Raton, under the watchful Florida sun. Her sessions were intense, sweat slinging, pace pushing, no-nonsense workouts, but if someone looked just a little closer they'd see the hints of joy in every movement. Coco wasn't just grinding, she was dancing on the edge of her next evolution. Her serve had gained more pop. Her forehand looked heavier, more precise. She tested out new patterns, new angles, even new return formations. Observers whispered that she looked sharper than she had at any point in the previous year. Still, the most telling change was her smile, big, bright, unconstrained. "You look happy," one reporter remarked during a preseason press chat. "I am," she replied. "This year feels different." U.S. fans had waited months to hear something like that. Meanwhile, the American Premier Classic wasn't just preparing for Gauff, it was preparing around her. Courts were resurfaced, the main stadium received additional seating, and the event partnered with multiple youth tennis programs to organize meet-and-greet sessions, clinics, and interactive fan activities. The message was clear. This wasn't simply a tournament. It was a celebration of Coco's homecoming. The night before the first match, the atmosphere on the eve of her debut was electric, almost supernatural. A gentle wind swept across the stadium lights as tech crews ran final tests. Vendors stocked merchandise booths with Gauff-branded shirts and signature headbands, and young fans gathered by the practice courts just to catch a glimpse of her shadow gliding across the baseline. Coco walked out for her final evening practice wearing a white hoodie, headphones in, eyes locked forward. But when she looked up and saw the crowd, families, kids, grandparents, high school teams, she removed her headphones and waved. The cheer that erupted could have cracked open the sky. She hit for about 40 minutes, practicing patterns and drop shots, occasionally smiling when a little girl yelled, "We love you, Coco." When she finished, she signed autographs until her team gently reminded her the match was in less than 24 hours. She left the court with the effortless swagger of someone who knew she was exactly where she belonged. Match day, the roar begins. The next day, the stadium felt like a festival. Music pumping, flags waving, fans wearing everything from Coco's favorite colors to homemade shirts declaring "In Gauff we trust." When Coco stepped onto the court, the noise rose like a tidal wave.